Hello, this is David with entry number 432. Walking on the streets of Gangneung. I am currently on my way to buy some coffee from my little cafe I like. I don't really know how to start this because I want to talk about Interstellar. And it turns out that okay, so I said, I think a couple days ago, I kind of gave what I thought Interstellar was going to be about, kind of advanced review. And it really wasn't that right, but a few of my presumptions were, I don't want to say close, but I would say within the ballpark of kind of how it turned out. I went into the film expecting it to be kind of brilliant, or I don't know, maybe like a mind-altering experience. But what I got was something that wasn't exactly what I was hoping for. So am I disappointed in the film? Honestly, a little bit, because I really was expecting it to be kind of like an almost transcendent experience. And I feel like that's what Christopher Nolan was trying to do for the audience, was kind of give them a sort of kind of beyond the body kind of experience with Interstellar. All I'll say is that it takes a turn in the last quarter of the film, or the last third, I guess, that I was really, really not expecting. It goes to a place where very few films, I think, really dare to kind of tread anymore. And what I really thought while I was watching it was, I was reminded, actually, not really thought, but I was reminded of another film called The Abyss. And The Abyss was a film, I think produced or directed or affiliated with James Cameron. It came out in the late 80s. And it used kind of a lot of the Terminator 2 kind of metallic effects, but for water. And Interstellar it reminded me a lot of that, and kind of how ambitious it was in its kind of storytelling. The acting was very good. I honestly think the best acting or whatever was done by the two robots in the film, which I really thought were really funny and enjoyable. There are these two kind of like helper droids that assist the crew on their mission, and they're like this really cool kind of like it's kind of hard to describe how they work, but they're basically like coiled in a way where they can kind of like unravel themselves and become bigger, and they walk in this really cool kind of pendulum-like way, and I thought it was they were pretty funny and cool to see. But the film, I might have to see it again, or maybe 2 or 3 more times in order to like really come around to it, because it really was not. Okay. It's hard to really say this without kind of really getting into the film and kind of how it plays out, but maybe I'll talk about that tomorrow or on Monday. But you really kind of are watching it zig for a while. And then when it zags on you, it really, it really zags. But yeah, just, you know, it was good. It just wasn't great. I will say that if I had to give it a full-on, like, hard score right now, it would probably be like a maybe like a B plus out of, you know, an A. It was good, but it just didn't have that kind of specialness. I don't really know how to describe it any better than that. You know, there's a kind of like feeling you get, feeling I get when I watch a good movie, like a really good movie, that's like beyond just being like well acted and well directed. Something that when all the pieces fit together correctly, the movie will kind of transcend kind of everything and kind of become amazing. Like, for an example, like if you look at something like The Shawshank Redemption, you see something that has tremendous actors, a tremendous director, tremendously written, and there's something about that film that kind of transcends all the elements, makes it like really special. And this film, I just feel like the story, the directing was fine, and the acting was really good, and all the set pieces and the effects were magnificent, but there was something about the story that kind of really was, I think, overly ambitious. And a lot of times you'll hear people kind of use the term jumping the shark to kind of refer to an overly ambitious plot or story, and I really feel like this film kind of did that. And you know, I know where kind of Christopher Nolan was coming from, you know, at this kind of really, like, how to describe it, like a really high-minded kind of thinking, but what I felt kind of ended up coming out on screen was something that was more like, I don't know, it almost turned into a fantasy, which is fine. And you know, it really revolves around kind of the travel aspect and the kind of modality of how they get around for interstellar travel, and so I won't really get into it too much other than saying just that it's really reliant on this kind of pivot, and you'll either really like the pivot or you won't. I feel like that this pivot is kind of like a monumental kind of prospect and believability and kind of enjoyment of the film. But yeah, I mean, I won't say anything more for now, but overall it's good, but just not great. So thanks for watching. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.